or with those people that you meet from those events, right? So it also ties into shaping the conversation surrounding your brand and your offering. So you can really deep dive into creating that brand awareness, attracting new customers, and then being able to connect with your audience and eventually being able to build loyalty with them where they only want to go to you because you are the Medicare expert in their area, and they start to just really trust you based off of what they're seeing on social media. So it's really a great building block to engage with your clients and create new customers as well. So thinking about social media strategy a little bit, the best way to generate more leads is through doing advertisements. And another factor is also being able to engage with your audience in the industry that you're in. So this is providing educational materials regarding Medicare. This is, commenting back and forth on different pieces of material that are surrounding, what's going on in the industry or different events, really just like a networking opportunity because your feed is built off of things that you're liking and reposting, and you're engaging with your customers that way as well. And then my favorite also, I think, to touch on is organic content. So this is like posting things from your event, being a part of community activities or charity work, or even sharing a piece of your personal life. Maybe you went on a recent trip that you want to share with your clients. This really adds that human aspect that maybe if you're not meeting these people in person, they really get to see a piece of you and who you are through your social media. I love to think of putting myself in someone else's scenario and what I see in social media. So if you think of any of your favorite brands, or maybe you have a person you really like, maybe on LinkedIn or Facebook, or an influencer these days, think of what they do and what makes you feel connected to them based off what they're posting, and then put yourself in a senior's shoes of what they might be interested in. And you want to correlate your posting to those things that they're going to have a wide attraction to, and just create that connection, especially because we live in a digital age. You got to find a way to connect with people digitally versus just in person too. So there's a great way to kind of add that human aspect in there too. So creating your target audience for us is pretty simple. It's very broad. It's going to be very focused on age. So over 65, and like I kind of touched on before, some like to start the age like around 62 and start targeting those people earlier on with advertisements or just posting in general. And then the location, so whatever states that you're selling in, maybe you're doing an event that you're promoting or you want to post about, and then you'll do that specific zip code as well. So those are the main two things that are going to play in, and then as well as interest. You can get very, very specific on Facebook for your targeting. So for example, this is very much focused on using Facebook ads to grow your business with your clients. But if you are doing something like agent recruiting, there's a really great way to get like very into a specific group with interest. They'll go into different groups and search histories and all that kind of stuff. Facebook, it is an amazing tool to use. So that's another thing. But for our case, with Medicare, it kind of is like a very broad audience, which can be great because your reach is going to be a lot higher when you're running these advertisements. And then you can also do based off of language as well. So I know a lot of people are targeting Hispanic market. So there's a way that you can also select that and ensure that you're reaching the right demographic. And I wanted to also touch on some content considerations, some strategies here. So I created a mock Medicare Monday. There's so many different ways that you can kind of connect with your audience, and it's really going to be based off of what works for your current clients, what you think really ties them in and connects them to you, and then as well as what you want to promote your business like, right? So you can do things like Motivational Monday. You can have it really event focused. Maybe you just want to focus on promoting events via a certain social media platform, or you want to do provider relationships and show these awesome healthcare relationships that you have in the industry. And I know a lot of people are also very educational focused. So maybe you're posting videos every week or monthly that just give more information on Medicare and really draw some more users into your business. So a great way is to, have a ad graphic that really connects with your audience, use some hashtags, and always make sure that you have a CTA that brings people back to your call to action. So maybe this is a link to schedule time to connect with someone that might be interested based off of your post. So those are some touch points there and some strategy ideas. So once you kind of have some considerations for what you want your strategy to be, the next step is creating a content calendar. So this is one example. I like the calendar view, but there's also another view that you can do that looks kind of more like this. And the reason why you're going to want to take some time, it's like one of those things that's going to take an initial step where you want to plan out maybe your whole month of social media posting. And then it's really streamlined when you go to do your weekly posting. Your frequency is definitely up to you on how often you want to post, but I recommend doing at least once a week, maybe twice, and incorporating something like one piece is educational or industry focused, and the second is organic content. So maybe attending an event, something community oriented, maybe like I said before, you know, you went on a trip, you wanted to share something about your personal life on there. That's a great way to connect organically as well. So I would say 1 to 2 posts a week. You can outline them here, create those assets, link them in here. You know what day and time you want them. You can also schedule these posts out. And then it's like, boom, 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 got them done. So these are a great way to kind of incorporate your strategy, have underlying themes, and really have a great schedule to get this going long term. So next in your strategy is going to be budgeting. So this is for ads specifically. Otherwise, social media is free, right? So for Facebook advertisements, you're going to want to make sure that you have a large enough sample size. So this is why you want to start out with your audience being very broad, and you're going to want to get as much reach as you can. You want to make sure your ad is getting ran long enough. So if you only run your ad for a week, you don't actually know if it's going to be successful because it hasn't reached as many people as it should. So I recommend a duration of about 3 to 4 weeks that way you can really test your ROI on it. So it really depends on your overall marketing budget and how you want to fit in paid ads to it. But I recommend starting at about $250 to $500 a month, because your budget is going to directly correlate with how many people see your post, and then those people are going to be the ones that turn into leads. So the more you spend, the more chances you have, but you want to be very strategic with how you do it. So when you start out, you want to make sure you're comfortable with your budget, but you're still spending enough. And we believe this range here is a great place to start out. So when you're running an ad or just working on your content strategy in general, you're going to want to have KPIs that you're focusing on. So reach is one that is very much based off of, maybe like follower count. It's more of like a fluff one. It's not as impactful as something like engagement, like they're engaging with your content. That can lead to ROI. So ROI is going to be focused on actual leads turned in from your advertisement, right? So this is the ultimate goal. This is what you want to be focusing on, is having a great return on your investment. And then this is going to also lead to retention and loyalty when you already get these customers in the door. So once you already have these clients, what's going to be really important is maintaining them through social media with retention and loyalty. So now we're going to be able to go in and show you how you can create a marketing asset in Marketing Center. And if you do not have a Marketing Center account, a great free tool is also Canva. And you could just follow along through this walkthrough. But if you do have a Marketing Center account, let's go ahead and hop in there and follow along with me as I go through it. So you're going to go ahead and go into your Mark account. So I'm going to go into mine. And I'm going to go ahead and head to templates. And then I'm going to go to all templates, social, and I'm going to select this one, this new to Medicare. I'm going to click use template, name it whatever you want this campaign to be, create document. It's going to take me to the design tool where I'm going to add my data into here and then make any edits I want before posting to social media. So you go ahead and go to Spark Agent Data. I'm going to click on Jane Doe and I'm going to apply to document. So now I'm just going to do a little bit of adjusting wherever you see fit on here. I'm going to resize a little bit. And then on this piece, it has number of years of experience. I'm just gonna plug in one for Jane Doe. And then another really cool thing with Mark is that you can actually link things. So for example, I can go here and say, call me for a free consultation or schedule time with me here. If you highlight here, you can actually link text. So what I would link here is either you could link like a Calendly, something like that, since you're scheduling time. But for this, I'm just going to show you how you could go into your, so I'm already mirroring Jane Doe. I'm going to go into sources. I'm going to create a source. And instead of downloading the QR code, I'm just going to copy the URL. And then I'm going to hop back into Marketing Center, and then I'm going to attach that URL. So you can, so now it's linked there and it's going to follow through when you go to post. So let's say this piece is ready to go. I just inputted my data, wanted to add that link, and then you click share, and then you can do any of these social and post directly. So my LinkedIn is already logged in, so you can see like post as my name, and then you can do public or connections. You can type in your kind of headline description for the post. You can also use this link to, say you wanted to schedule a post instead of posting it right this second, or you just wanted to see it in LinkedIn, you would just copy this over, go into your LinkedIn, and it's going to populate as this ad. And even here, you can see how it populates to that contact page. It's fully linked. So when you post it to social media, they can click on here and it'll reroute them. While I'm on Marketing Center and this asset, does anyone have any questions or need any assistance with posting to social from here or linking, anything like that?
I was trying to do it when you did it, but you went so fast, I got lost.
I know, I'm quick with it, sorry. So are you referring to the linking specifically?
No, I mean, by the time I logged in and did that, you were already on 2 or 3 steps down and I was already lost. So I just started watching it.
So I can go into another one too, and I'll go slower. So we can even just do this one too. So
to get access to the marketing, I'm sorry, Mariah, but I don't have access to the marketing site yet, and I sent an email about it, but I think I was supposed to click on a link or something and register.
RJ, yeah, for the sake of the demo, we can handle your Marketing Center request after the fact, just since we're walking through quite a few agents on the call. But I'll send you a follow-up email now. Okay.
Well, that's what I want. An email for that. Thank you. Bye-bye, John.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I'll go slower this time. So when we go to the brand templates, you'll select all templates, and then you'll also select the basic Medicare social here. So it'll just show you the social posts that are Medicare, just general Medicare. And then you're going to select this one. You'll go to use template, create document. And then once you get to like the design tool, you're going to want to go to data. We're going to want to walk through and type in your own name, select yourself, apply to document. And then you can see and adjust as needed. For this one, you would adjust event dates if you were actually doing it. And then here, what you could do for linking is you would, if you have like a RSVP page or something like that, that would be perfect to link on here. So the way that you can link is by selecting the text, and you'll highlight it. You'll go down over here where it says text, and then there's a section for link. And then you'll select URL, and then you would input that URL there. I'm just going to do the same one I have.
Okay, great, thanks. I just missed the first 3 steps, and when you do that, then you're behind, but I appreciate it. I'm caught up now.
You got it. Awesome. Any other questions in regards to posting for Marketing Center or linking, anything like that?
I have a question about editing.
Yeah.
So see that at the bottom right corner of that piece, there's that multi-plan code from CMS or whatever. That. So if you want to turn the background white because you don't use blue in your brand palette, when I tried to do it on something, I could not edit the color of that text so that it would continue to show up.
Okay.
I was locked out.
Yeah, you should be able to on all the pieces. If there's a specific one that's not letting you change the color, be sure to share that with me so I can change the settings on there. So normally it's just the content is locked in it, but you should still be able to change the color on it. So if there are any pieces you're seeing that on still, be sure to share those with me so I can change it.
Hey, Myra, I got a question.
Yeah.
Great system. Do you all have this in video so that we can always go back to it in case we have questions? And how do we get video?
So I'll be sending a follow-up email after this. I'll outline, I'll send the recording of this as well as an opportunity for you to get signed up with Marketing Center and some of the video walkthroughs that we have on here too, just so you feel fully set up and can see all the capabilities. And we have onboarding calls every 2 weeks for Marketing Center. But yeah, this is a great way to kind of see how resourceful it is that you can use it for social media. So that's why we're going through it on the call today, but we'll be sure to follow up with all the information to get started with an account.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
So this template also needs things like location. It's got the date and time, but location should be on there.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
we can just add that.
Yeah, that's definitely something we can add to the template too. But the way that you have full editing capabilities too. So
Got
you
it.
can add in there.
Do y'all have this in Spanish already?
So we don't right now have any pieces translated. We resort to the agent doing the translation, and we're able to add it onto a template, or you're able to do it yourself, but we don't have any templates in Spanish at this time. It is something that we're looking into doing, but currently it's just in English.
Got it, thank you.
Of course. All right. I know a big section of this
Right,
is gonna
going to jump in real quick. If everyone can please guide their questions to the chat, that way we can keep the presentation moving along. And if it's something that you'd like me to interrupt Mariah to ask an additional question, let me know and I'll be able to jump in. Okay.
All right, thanks, John. Cool. Yes, because the second half of this will take a little bit to kind of deep dive into, and I know people will have questions about it. So now that we have our asset, so let's say this is also the asset we're going to be using for our Facebook ad. What I'm going to do is I am going to download it. I'm going to make sure it's in PNG because that's the format that you'll need for the ad. I'm going to go ahead and do download. And then these, so walking through a Facebook ad, these are the things that we're going to discuss, but the best way is for you to actually see it in action. So if you do have a Facebook business page, go ahead and navigate there and follow along with me. If you do not, I will also be adding a guide to starting a Facebook business page in the follow-up email, but for time purposes, I want to make sure that I can get through demonstrating a full ad. So go ahead and head into your Facebook business page. This is what it should look like once you get into your business suite here. Once you are here, I'm going to give a couple seconds for anyone that's going to follow along. All right, so you'll go to, once you're in your Facebook business page, you're in the Meta Suite, you're going to go to All Tools, you're going to navigate to Ads Manager. So now that you're in your Ads Manager, if you have anyone else that is on your business page, you're going to want to make sure that you have your own ad account here. So this is like my testing one here. I'm in here. Once you get to this page, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click this green button that says create. This is going to be creating a new campaign. And you're going to want to make sure you select leads. If you're looking to do other things like awareness or traffic, it's not the best results as much as leads is. So creating an instant form on Facebook is the best way to do it. It's the best way to track ROI. There's great analytics within Facebook. So you're going to go ahead and select leads. Going to click continue. It's going to take you to this ad set. So since we're starting an entire campaign, you're also going to see two different things here. So ad set and then so you can do multiple different ads within one campaign. But for this, we're just going to show how you can do this first initial ad. So you name your campaign. You can add different campaign details, A and B tests, but for this case, just doing the simple overview, just click next. You want to ensure that instant forms is selected. So this is how you can track what leads are coming through directly from Facebook. And you can see on your analytics the results. So you can see the cost per lead, how much you spent, and then how many of those turn into actual leads by this instant form here. You can add in your cost per result goal, which is result/lead. So every lead you get, how much that's going to cost you. And just to put that into perspective, when we're talking a little bit about budget, is if you think about yourself doing a mailer, maybe you're doing 1,000 to 2,000 mailers out. So your reach is only 1,000 to 2,000 maximum. You are only industry standards about 1% or less. So you're looking at almost $100 per lead that you might be getting if it's only a 1% result, right? So with Facebook, you're getting a lot more of a reach. You're looking at thousands per day that are seeing your ad, and the ROI on here and the conversion rate is a lot higher. So your cost per result goal is really going to range, but I will say a good benchmark is around $40 to $50 per lead, which is a lot less expensive than doing something like a mailer. So here is where you can impact your budget, and you'll see here with your daily results, what you might be getting from here. You can also see what is my audience size, and keep in mind this audience size is everyone on Facebook right now, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our target demographic in here as well. So for the daily budget, you can see how it's going to drastically affect your reach per day based off your daily budget. So I'm going to do $15, which is going to be $105 per week. And like I said before, I recommend doing 3 to 4 weeks to test out an ad to see if it's successful. And there's a few different things you'll want to be monitoring while this duration of the ad is going on to ensure that it's going to be successful. You want to make sure that you're not just letting it run for 3 weeks and never looking at it, because there's different pivot points that you can do to see more success. So I recommend anywhere between $10 to $20 a day, and then doing 3 to 4 weeks. So with this schedule, you would just select the day that you want to start it. You would select an end date for 3 to 4 weeks later. You would see and be able to calculate how much that's going to cost you. You can see this reach and your audience size. So down here with your audience, what you can do is you're going to search your specified location. I'm going to do California since that's where I'm at. You can do you can do all the states that you're licensed in. You could just do one state. It's really up to you. We do not want United Kingdom. All right, so with California, we have an estimated audience size of 34 million, right? But that's because we haven't adjusted the age. So my recommendation is starting, I'm just going to do 64. So it's going to include everyone 64 and up. When you select this, and you'll notice your reach is a little bit smaller, right, per day because of that adjustment of the age. But you can see you have over 3 million people that you could potentially be reaching. And I will also show you how let's say you wanted to do $5 extra more dollars a day, how that impacts your reach. So now you would get an extra guaranteed 200 people that it would be on their feed for that day. So it's up to you. The greater the budget, the larger the reach and the potential for the leads. So you can also do a little bit more detailed targeting, but again, I highly recommend doing a broad audience for your ad, unless you're doing something like agent recruiting or it's a specific type of event. Detailed targeting is going to get really specific and a lot harder to see results from. So you can add in things here like different things seniors would be interested in to get really specific, but again, broad is going to be the best for this. You can also select languages here, and then you can save an audience for later. So this can become very, very quick. Once you run your first ad, everything is going to be pretty set besides your creative. So you can save that audience. You'll want to make sure the Advantage Plus placements is on, because it'll just put this on more people's feed, and you don't need to be like manually selecting where it's going to be on. So we'll go ahead and click next from here. But before I go, John, do we have any questions specifically about this page?
There was one question about if you can use demo targeting for veterans. Is that something that's available, or just?
So yeah, so what you would do is it's going to be in this like detailed targeting section, is you would be just type in veterans or different veteran organizations. It's going to get people that are involved in those groups, and that's how you would do that's a perfect example of a more specific ad campaign. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go on to next. So here is where we're going to actually get into the ad creative. The ad creative is a huge, huge piece of your Facebook ad. It's really important. And it's something that you're going to want to potentially pivot on when you're not seeing success within the first week of your ad. So the way that you create this ad is you're going to do single image. You can also do a video as well. But in this case, we're going to add the new piece that we created on Marketing Center. And again, make sure it's a PNG. That's the only format that it's going to take. So we'll go ahead and select that. We'll click next. We'll click original. That way it pops up right. We'll click next. Done. So this is what your ad is going to look like with just the creative that we created on Marketing Center. And then here is where you can add in your text, your headline. So your primary text would be here. So I'm just going to type in something simple. You can go as long or short as you would like. Definitely would recommend doing a little bit more of a brief. Some people also prefer to have all the text that we have on this creative on the text and then just doing something like an image. So it's really up to you and how you want to strategize something like the actual image versus the text. And it's a great thing to A and B test. So with an A and B test, you'd be just testing one variable, but that is a great thing to eventually test. And for headline, what that is going to show you is it's going to be right here on this form on Facebook. That's where it shows up. So maybe you type in something like that. You can also add a short description of your headline and then your call to action. So I like to do learn more. And what's great is you can watch it being built out as you're doing all these things. So then what you're going to do is you're going to click create form. So your instant form is the lead form that these potential clients will be filling out. And these are great too, because once you create one, like I said before, you can save it and it makes it a lot more streamlined when you're creating new ad sets. So you'll want to go ahead and name it. Form type, you'll do more volume. I like to just do image from the ad, but you're welcome to just do another image as well. You'll add in a headline. So maybe you want to say, maybe you want to say healthcare needs. You can do as much detail as you want in the form. One call I will have is for compliance purposes in an advertisement, you need to have the disclaimer linked to whatever it's linked to. So for an advertisement, if we're having a form that's linked to an ad, the disclaimer needs to be in the ad. So you can either have it here, you can also have it later on in the advertisement. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the disclaimer really quickly. I'm going to actually put it in directly into this. And this is really up to you on how you want to format it. But then the next questions you would have is maybe you want it to be a short answer and you're saying name. You're asking contact information, maybe email, maybe a short answer on what they're looking to achieve in the meeting, different things like that. You can honestly copy also what the contact format we have in the platform. So all your QR codes, all those things that you link to, all that information in there is great to have. But what is great about having a lead form directly in Facebook is that you can track those very easily and you know exactly that they were coming from this ad, and it makes it really easy to just go through the analytics, understand the cost per result or the cost per lead as you're going through different ad campaigns. So then you go through, you're going to add privacy policy. This is also where you could add a disclaimer as well. So you could add this disclaimer, add a title to it that's Medicare specific, add a link to your company privacy policy. So we have one with Spark that would be in there. And then you could also do a specific message for your leads. So this one is just, you're all set. And you can go to the submission from here. So after you have all of this done and you kind of can click through what the form would be like for your client, you click create form and it's going to save. I'm not going to save this one, but do it. John, I'm going to ask again if we have any questions just specifically on the lead forms.
None specifically, but one did just come through. Once someone replies to your ad via text, email, or phone call, you have the right to call them as soon as possible. So I'll follow up with that one in a chat to get more information, but no questions on the lead form. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to click out of this lead form. And once that's selected, this is ready to go. So you'll want to check out what yours is going to look like on the feed, what it looks like maybe on a story here, but this is exactly what your ad will look like. You can go ahead and expand or edit as you see accordingly, but this is where it's fully done and you would click publish. And I'm not going to publish this since it's just a test, but you would be able to do that right now if you are ready to go on it. And then what it looks like once you've created this campaign. So even if I'm clicking out and I don't save, it's going to show what this looks like. So this is what your analytics is going to look like. It's going to show, your results. So this is everyone that's filled out that lead form is going to be in a result. It's going to show your reach, impressions, or cost per result. So usually this is going to be around 40 to 50 a lead. And then you can also see your total amount spent when the ad is ending, how long it's running. You have the ad set name and your budget there as well. So a few pointers, I'm going to go back to my slide deck here in regards to looking for success in places that you could potentially want to pivot with your advertisement. So this is just an example of some numbers. So maybe you got 10 leads and you can see the reach, the impressions, and if you spent $450, you got 10 leads, your cost per result is going to be $45 per lead. So this would be a great result, right? But a couple pointers I want to have for you to really be able to reach success here is just ensuring that you do have enough ad spend and you're reaching a large enough audience. So if you get too specific and your reach isn't that much per day, you're just not going to have as great a success. We need a broad audience at first, and you need that to spend enough as well. So a couple ways, if you are running an ad for a week and you're just like, this isn't working, I'm not seeing the numbers I need to, nothing's come through. A couple ideas is to adjust your target audience. Maybe you're growing, you're making it even more broad, or maybe you're adjusting your ad creative. So maybe you want to switch it to, instead of having all the information written on the image, you just want it to be an image, and maybe you're putting the text, maybe you're changing the link. You can change a bunch of different things to see where it's going to be successful. But again, it is truly up to your market and your branding. It's really just your strategy, right? It's going to be based off your market. And these are great benchmarks to reach, and just kind of like a basic strategy to think about when you're running ads. But again, it's going to be very individualized on what's successful based in your area and your targeting. Another thing is, I kind of mentioned it before, is A and B testing. So this would be running 2 ads at the same time and changing one variable. So if you change more than one variable, you can't really know what was making it successful. So you can do a ton of A/B tests, right? So I recommend doing the first one maybe on the creative, or maybe on the amount of money you're spending or the duration of an ad. And then you can really see what is successful from there. And then you can just really streamline the process and create a budget for yourself to continue doing these ads long-term. Similarly to how you're going to create a content calendar and be able to build out a social media campaign from each month by incorporating that strategy. You got your budget and you got your content. So another way Spark is going to help you reach success is we are going to be having our resource center, having a social media section that's really outlining all of these processes in short walkthrough videos and guides. So I know this is a lot of information we packed in here, right? We had strategy, we had creating an asset on Marketing Center, we had a lead form, we had an advertisement walkthrough. So we're going to be having our resource center have a social media section that you can go, and maybe you're like, I don't know how to do the form. I need to watch a video on that really quickly. We'll have that video. And then we'll have a full how to run an ad. Maybe you're wondering how to do LinkedIn ads because your target market's a little bit different. You're doing agent recruiting and that's a better platform to use. We'll have some videos on that too. So we're really looking to build this out. And if you have a specific market, like I know someone asked about veterans, that's something that we can also meet one-on-one on and kind of create a strategy for. Our team is definitely here to help you and get you building your first advertisement and true success with social media. So now we are on to where you can ask me some questions and some next steps. So mark your calendars for a couple different things I wanted to touch on. First, I'm very excited that you guys can now be posting from Marketing Center to social media. You can start doing a content calendar as well. In the follow-up email, I'll be linking to an example one that you can use. And then also starting your first Facebook ad campaign. And I know a couple people asked about Marketing Center accounts. So if you scan that QR code, you can get access to RSVP for our next onboarding session. It's going to be on June 13th. And then in a follow-up email as well, I'll mention other steps that you can get an account as well. And then we have our next webinar, which is going to be building provider relationships with Marketing Center, or with marketing, sorry. That's going to be June 29th. So this is actually going to be our theme for June. So if you have Marketing Center, we're also going to be having new assets surrounding provider marketing, as well as a marketing plan as well for how you can build those relationships. We'll have all of our SGMs on the call, as well as our VPs of sales. So I'm really excited to kind of deep dive into provider relationships as well. I wanted to thank everyone for coming today, and I am ready for all my questions now. John, are there any specific that?
Yep. So Grace asked if she can edit her ad after posting.
Yes. So how you can edit your ad is right where I showed you in your ad campaign. Let me pop back in there really quickly. You're able to go right here and you just click edit. And then you're able to edit the entire media, your creative here. The one thing you cannot change is your lead form. So once that lead form is published, you cannot change the lead form. Everything else can be modified.
Everything
This is
else.
Kelly. I have a question. So with the onboarding marketing, if our upline if we don't have to purchase it because our upline has it, can we still do the training for onboard monitoring?
Yeah, you can definitely join a session for sure.
Okay.
We also have them recorded too, if you want me to send you a recording, and that way you can follow along and see all the assets we have in there and kind of understand the platform better.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, Mariah, this is James O'Neill. My question has to do with the contact form that we are using for Facebook. Would that contact information be transferred into the platform, or could we use it where it would go into a contact, like a Survey Monkey or a contact center? I mean, our constant contact. Or, I mean, what are our options as far as how we get that contact information into some type of CRM?
So my recommendation there is two different things. So you can either do something like HubSpot or any CRM you currently have, or what you can do instead of doing an instant form is you can link to your contact page in the platform, and that will track all their information directly in there. But I do recommend. Yes, please do.
Yes. So James, if you utilize the sources tool that Mariah referenced in her demonstration, that's going to create new prospects in your Spark platform automatically for you. That'll pull in all the information and automatically create it as a prospect.
Okay,
If you'd like to link out your own type of form, then you certainly can create one with a third-party tool and link it out to your ad, but it won't pull into Spark.
so the best way to do it is to create from that sources, create the contact form there, copy that link when you get to that inside the
Exactly.
Facebook or whichever, then you put that in and it automatically will pull it into to the
Exactly.
account.
Yep. And so
Okay,
some benefits tied to that are the sources pages that we create in Spark are fully compliant. They cover the permission to contact or VRC language for that sort of agreement to be reached out to by a Medicare sales professional just to discuss plan options. And then thirdly is you can create campaigns specific to the ad campaign, right? So if you were doing this Facebook ad campaign that was running for the month of June, you would be able to say, okay, I got 6, 10, 12, 15 leads from that specific campaign, which will help you track ROI in addition to the analytics that Facebook's giving you.
all right, great. Yeah, no, that was a great answer, great response.
Of course. Mariah, we did have one more question from Alan, which was, can you change the end date if you want to abort a certain campaign?
Yes, you can edit your you can stop it at any time, you can extend it at any time. So in that view, go back to it again. You're able to edit anything here and you can turn on and off. So if you wanted to run it for certain, you always wanted to run it or something, and then at certain point in times, you wanted to turn it on and off, you could do that. And you can always change the end date here as well. But the way that you just click here, you can change it. You can also go into edit here. So again, the only thing that you wouldn't be able to change is the lead form that you create. But for example, if you wanted to create an ad and you just linked your contact page URL from the Spark platform, you could even change that. So really your ad is able to be changed at any time. And what's great about that is if you're not seeing success within a few days to a week, you can modify as needed.
Quick question, Myra.
Yes.
I know we're not supposed to be calling seniors without authorization from them, but if they ever apply to one of our ads via text, email, phone call, that gives us the right to call them, correct?
I am going to defer to John on this one.
If you receive an inbound call from a potential prospect, then yes, if they're reaching out to you directly as a from your ad, but if you use our sources tool, that's going to cover the permission to contact piece as well.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much again for joining. I'm really, really excited to get a support on this and help all of you out with your social media plans and advertising. We have a lot of information coming to you in a follow-up, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. And email me with any questions that you have. I'll put this back up for a second if anyone wants to sign up for our webinar on June 29th or interested in the Marketing Center onboarding session, be sure to scan that QR code. But if we have no other questions, thanks again, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Great training, Myra.
Thank you.